Hello everyone, today let's solve the problem number 682 baseball game. So what the question states here, we are given list of operations. We are given a list of operations. Let's come to the example one here. So we are given a list of operations representing scores in a baseball game. So list of operations means here you can clearly see we have been given these three operations plus D as well as C, right? So what does plus indicates here? We can add the last two scores. We can add the last two scores. That's what plus indicates. What does D indicates here? It doubles the previous score. Means into 2. Into 2. So just give me a second here. Suppose the last two scores is 1 and 2. Suppose the last two scores is 1 and 2. It lets us add the last two scores. Nothing but here in this case the output will be 3. So suppose 1 and 2 we have last two scores. What does D do here? Suppose the last score is 3 here, right? So we have to perform the D means D means it doubles the previous score. Means we have 3 now. 3 into 2 is nothing but 6. Doubles the score means 3 into 2 is nothing but 6. We have 6 now. So C, what does C indicate here? C removes the last two score. C removes the last two score. Suppose we have here 1 comma 2. So don't consider this 6 for now. Leave this 3 and 6 now. So suppose we have 1 and 2, right? Suppose we have 1 and 2. So 2 will be removed. We are removing the last score, nothing but 2. We will return only 1 in this case. We'll remove 2 and we'll return only 1 in this case. So that's what these three operations do. What the plus operation do here? So plus operator do here, we it adds the last two scores. D means it doubles the previous score, and C removes the last score. So that's what these three operations do, right? uh, Sorry, that's what these three things do basically, plus D as well as C, right? So let's come to the first example here. Let's come to the first example. Let's discuss the approach directly. Let's discuss the approach directly. I'll explain for the examples one. I insist you to look into example 2 and 3 as well, so that it will be easier for us to write the code, right? So let's go with the first example here. Let's go with the first example here. So we have 5, 2, C, D and plus here. First, what we will do, we first thing is, all I have to tell you is we will be going with the stacks. We will be making use of stacks here. Stacks data structure, stack data structure, right? So just keep this in mind. So first step, what we will do, we will push 5. So we have 5 here. We will push 5 to the stack, right? So next step, we have 2 here. We will push 5 comma, we will push 2 to the stack. This will be 5 comma 2, right? So I hope this part is clear. Now we have the operation C. What does C indicates? So I have said C means we have to remove, right? We have to remove the previous score. We have to remove the previous score, right? So C, basically we have to remove the last score, not the previous score. Basically we have to remove the last score, and this we have to, right? So what we will do, we will pop the last element that is present in the stack. We will pop the last element that is present in the stack. Now we are left with only 5 when we perform the operations on C, right? See, what does it do? It removes the last score, right? So let's move on with the D here. Let's move on with the D. So what does D do? D, basically accordingly with the question, D doubles the previous score. D doubles the previous score. In this case, when it doubles means into 2, right? Into 2 here. So next it will be 10. When we perform the operations on D, it will be 5 into 2, nothing but, or 2 into 5, it will be nothing but 10. It will be 10. Let's come to the final one here. We have plus. We have plus operation. Plus, what does plus do here basically? Plus is used to add the last two scores. Plus is used to add the last two score, right? So we have 10 in the last before the last one we have 5. Last two scores we have to add, right? So we have to add 10 and 5. In this case, 10 plus 5 is nothing but 15. Plus operation, plus basically what does plus do? we have to add last two scores using the plus operator, right? So here this will be 10. We will consider last two scores 10 and 5 here. In this case, 10 plus 5 is nothing but 15. So the output that we got here is so total output is this one. So last two scores we have to do, right? So here in this case, 5 plus 10 will be 15. Now the stack consists of this one, 5 comma 10 comma 15. 5 comma 10 comma 15, sorry, this I got confused. Basically, we have to add the last two scores, then it becomes 15. This is fine. So now the stack becomes 5 comma 10 comma 15. All the operations we did, all the operations we did. After performing all the operations, now we have 5, 10 and 15 in the stack. When what is the last step that we need to do? Basically, what is the last step we need to do? We need to return the sum of all valid scores after applying the operations. We need to return the sum of all the valid scores after applying the operations. We have 5, 10 and 15 in the stack. So we have to perform the operations. So I mean, we need to sum up all the valid values here. 5 plus 10 plus 15 will lead us to the output 30. 15 plus 10 is nothing but 5 plus 10 is nothing but 15. 15 plus 15 is nothing but the 30 here. So the output that we got here is 30, which is equivalent to the output that they have given for the example 1, right? So our approach works absolutely correct in this case. Our approach works absolutely correct in this case. So what is the data structure that we used here? Stacks, right? So we have made use of the data structure stacks. So I hope the example 1 is completely clear. You have to do, I insist you to try the same thing, stack operations, on example 2 and 3 as well, right? So for 3 it is easy. You have 1 and C. Basically, C lets us what does C do here? C, I forgot. C, it removes the last score, right? So we will be removing 1. We are left with 0. Basically, in this case, we have to initialize. I mean, we'll be going with the output 0, basically, right? So the only possible this thing, after removing 1, the only possible number that is left in the array when we sum up will be 0 itself. So we'll return 0 itself. So we'll add 1 to the record is now 1, invalidate and remove the previous score. Record is now this one, empty array. Since the record is empty, the total sum is 0, so that's what we'll be returning as output, right? So this is fine. Same goes with the example 2 as well, completely. So I insist you to try out with the example 2. Basically, you'll understand this one better, right? So I have showed completely step by step by making use of the stack, basically for the example 1. Follow the same thing and please do try it out. Try. So try with the example 2 so that you'll get to know the problem better, and that's it. Yeah. So I insist you to try out with the example for the example 2, the approach part I'm speaking of. Just try to apply the stack operations, right? So we are done with the approach. So now we are completely familiar with the approach, right? So let's discuss the complexities very quickly and then let's write the code. So what will be the time complexity here? The time complexity would be big of n. So just give me a second here. Yeah, time complexity would be big of n. Why the time complexity is big of n here? Because each operation is processed once. Means all the stack operations are big of 1. So overall, each operation we are processing once. So overall time complexity would be quite obviously big of n. So the time complexity would be big of n in this case. And what would be the space complexity here? The space complexity would be big of n as well. Why the space complexity here is big of n? Because stack may hold up to all the operations of integers. In the worst case, we have to consider all the operations, right? Here in this case, we are considering all the operations. See here. Here in this case, we are considering all the this one. For this question, we have to consider all the elements that is present in the array, because we have to perform this one, each operation, this one plus dc, right? So and each number or the value also we need to consider. So all the elements is considered within the array. So basically stack may hold up to all the operations as integers, so the space complexity would be big of n as well. So the time complexity and the space complexity for the code that we'll be writing in the future would be big of n. So we are done with the complexities part as well. I hope the complexities and the approach part is completely clear. So as we are completely familiar with the approach and the complexities, let's start writing the code, right? So first step, as we discussed earlier, so we will be making use of the stack. So, or we'll be going with the stack approach. Let's make use of the stack to maintain the valid scores. So this will be stack integer stack new stack. So this is fine. Sorry, where am I typing? Sorry. Let me cut this one. Let me paste it over here. So after this one, so you would have already guessed, man. So what we'll do, we'll create the stack. So we'll be making use of the stack. We have to store, right? So for storing part, we'll be making use of the stack. Then we'll go with the iteration because we have to consider individual characters here. Individuals, this one will be considered this one, right? Um, we have to consider individual this thing values right here. So we'll be going with the iteration part. Within the iteration part, we'll be performing if else because we have certain conditions. So these three conditions we have to perform, right? So we'll be going with the if, else, if, and else. So you would have already guessed that one. And then finally, again, we'll be going with the for loop. Why the for loop? Because we have to sum all the valid scores. So that's what. Simple, right? So let's move on with the second step here. Let's go with the for loop here for string op of operations. So this is fine because operations is the this one we have. Just give me a second here. So yeah, operations is the parameter we have here, right? So this is fine. So within the for loop, first thing is when we have to go with the C, D, and plus. So if operations dot let's make use of the operation equals that the stack provides. So if it is equals to this one C basically, then what we have to do, we have to pop the last element, right? So that's what they have given in the question. We have to remove the last score basically. So this will be stack dot pop. So let's go with the else if here. Else if operation dot equals here equals of D. This is fine. So next what we'll do within this, we have to push, right? So we have to go with the D means what does D mean here? So D is doubles the previous score. D means double the previous score. We need to go with 2 into, we can just make use of the peak operation here, 2 into stack dot peak because we have to double the previous score and we have to push that score, right? So I'll just go with stack dot push of 2 into stack dot peak. So this is fine. So here again, let's go with the else if dot equals. So here this will be plus, right? So this will be plus. So within this else if, when plus we have to add. So we have to add, right? So what we need to do here for the plus, we need to add the last two scores, right? So we need to add the last two scores. Let's do one thing. Let's make use of the pop to access the second last element, right? So here this will be in. So this will be top equals stack dot pop. So this is fine. Why we are making use of the pop? Because we have to access the second last element. So here in this case, again, we have to sum the last two valid scores. We have to sum up the last two valid scores, nothing but here. I'll just go with new top equals top plus stack dot peak. Stack dot peak. This consists of the second last element. So here we are going with the sum of last two valid scores. This is fine. Top plus stack dot pip. So the next step is we have to push back the last one and we have to push the new score. These two things are left. So to push back the last one, we'll be going with the stack dot push of top. This is fine. And the final one is we have to push the new score. Nothing but here stack dot push of this one. What do you call? New top. So this is fine. Hope this part is completely clear. Finally, let's come to the else part here. Else, it's a so if it is a valid integer, then we have to push to the stack. If it is a valid integer, then we have to push to the stack. So I can just go with stack dot push here. This one we have, if it is a valid integer, I'll just go with the integer dot percent of. If it's a valid integer, we have to push into the stack, right? What we need to push? OP. We have considered here this one element OP. So this is fine. Let me come out of this one entirely. Next step is we have to sum up all the valid scores. So initially let's maintain the this one counter, nothing but here total equals 0. Here in this case, let's go with the for loop here. In score of stack, here this one total equals total plus score. This is fine. The final step is we need to return the total. So I hope this part is completely clear. We are just summing up all the valid scores, right? So this is it for the code. So let me format the code once and let me hit the run button. So here new top, this T has to be capital, right? Line number 14. So yeah, I have given T capital here. So let me make this T capital and let me run this one again. So we have the error stack dot push of formation. What is this? Lang dot number format exception for input string C. What happened here? So yeah, this has to be within the double inverted comma, not the single inverted comma. So let me run this one again. I hope this works now. Let's see. So yeah, now you can clearly see here the sample test cases are getting passed. So let me hit the submit button. So I had made use of the single inverted comma instead of double inverted comma. So we were getting there. So you can clearly see here the all the test cases are getting passed. Means the code works absolutely correct in this case, right? I hope the solution part is completely clear, right? Simple to understand, easy code. I hope the solution part is completely clear along with the approach and the complexities. For now, this is it. Thanks for watching, guys.